So welcome back to Old Man Wisdom. Here we're looking at AUDUSD. We focus on the 15-minute chart, and the only thing that's on here is one indicator called the 1 hour power. But in this case we're running it on the 15-minute chart to really see how well it performs, and in the last few months we've been doing this kind of on a monthly basis. And the last time we did a video on this, we ended the review on the 22nd of June. So if you want to watch the previous video to do with this indicator, I'll put the link up in the corner. But here is the 22nd ends here, and this now is the 23rd. So this would be our first signal after the obviously the previous one back here on the 22nd. So what we do is when the indicator paints, it's a non-repainting indicator. So we set a stop loss of 40 pips and a take profit of 40 pips. In this case, it makes 40 pips quite easily. So here's one win. The second case here, then we've got a buy signal. Obviously, there's a few more buy signals where the MACD, it's a MACD based indicator, has dipped below the 3 pip mark and then risen above it several times in a row. But obviously, when you take the first signal, if the trade hasn't closed either in profit or loss, then obviously you can ignore the next ones or the ones next to it because you're still in the trade. You only do one trade at a time. This ends up winning at 40 pips up here. So that was a second trade and a second win. Now we can take this first trade here. Doesn't look very promising, although we've not been stopped out. But no, we don't quite make profit. So what happens here is then that by this signal here, we're 25 pips in loss, so we're losing by 25 pips. We'll just simply close the trade and then open a sell. In this case we make 40 pips nice and easily here. So we've had one loss and 1, 2, 3 wins, so that's not too bad. Here we've got another sell signal. We take a loss just about here, and then looks like we take a second loss here. So it looks like we take a second loss in a row here, and then we get a nice win, a nice easy win. So we've lost 2 times there and won here. The next trade is here on the 4th of July. We just about get a win up here, so that's good. And then we get another win down here on the 5th of July, so that's really good. This doesn't look quite so promising. We take a loss here, but then immediately we get a nice win. We take another loss here, although it does go in our favour by 20 pips or so, but we end up losing once and twice again. But then we make a really super trade here and an easy win. This one was from the 11th of July. Here it looks like a loss, unfortunately, right down here. So we get a loss there, another loss here, and then we get a nice win. Here on the 15th of July, we don't quite, well, we do actually close the trade here at 32 pip loss, and then we lose another 40 pips before we get a nice win here on the 15th of July, an easy win. And right up to date, this trade here literally was the 19th, so this was early this morning. We get an immediate win. Couldn't be any easier than that, an immediate win there. So let's add up our losses and our wins. Okay, so over the course of the last month or so, we've had 10 losses. Now, not all of them were at a maximum of 40 pips. There was a couple there where we only lost about 20, 25. So in total, we lost 380 pips. Sounds pretty awful, really. But we had 12 wins, which means we made 480 pips. So over the course of the last 4 weeks, we've made 100 pip profit. Now that's quite significant. and certainly not to be dismissed by any means. That also means from or since the 1st of May, so just over 2.5 months, we've made a combined profit of 160 pips. Now that is quite significant. If you want to see the breakdown of that, what that means is that in the month of May we made over 200 pips. Then we had another month where we made a combined loss of 150, but that still put us a combined 60 pips in profit. And then in this last month we've made a profit of 100 pips. So overall, since the 1st of May to the 19th of July, that's 160 pip profit. That is doing nothing more than following these non-repainting signals, setting a stop loss of 40 pips and a take profit of 40 pips. Nothing more complicated than that. It really, really isn't. And so basically, in just over 2.5 months, this indicator has made on the AUD/USD 15-minute chart a profit of 160 pips. Now, I don't know what you think of that, but of course, if you think that's good, certainly give this video a thumbs up. We're going to continue to monitor this indicator on this particular chart. If you do want this indicator, then of course go to oldmanwisdom.co.uk. You can find it on there. And of course, if you want to follow along, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, which means every time I release a video like this, you'll get alerted and you'll be able to follow along with how it's doing. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Certainly quite interesting for me. Hopefully it is for you. And so in the meantime, take care and I'll speak to you very soon.